And welcome back, and this video is on the lovely sine rule. Comes in handy a lot. Very good rule. And what this rule says, if you have, I'll draw it nice and big because I can. That wasn't very good. Let me redo that last line. I did it again. I'm really off the ball tonight. I'm sorry, guys. That'll have to do because I'm just not going to be able to do any better. What it says, if you have any triangle, not right angled or anything like that, any triangle, okay, and you have lengths, I'll put it in a different colour because I'm good. A, B, and C. A bit blokey then. I, boy, and soy. And if you've got angle capital A opposite little a, you've got angle capital B opposite little b, and big C opposite little c. Okay, so just that's how it works. Okay, so just make sure you know that. We've got small c is this length here, capital C is that angle there, and they're all opposite their sides. Okay, so if you have that situation, then what you get is this: you get sine A over little a is equal to sine B over little b, and it's also equal to sine big C over little c. All of those are equal to each other, and so in any triangle you can use this fact. You can use that these two are equal to, or these two. You can use this however you want to use it. And it's also true, and it might be easier when you're solving things and that sort of thing, that A over sine A, you can flip it upside down, is equal to B over sine B, etc. Okay, so just make sure you can. If that makes the algebra solving equations easier, then by all means do that. Okay, so there we go. So let's just get straight into some examples. Let's do it. Example, let's go with this. So remember, it can be for any triangle. It doesn't need to be 90 right angle triangle. In fact, most of the time it won't be. So if you've got 65 degrees here, you got 37 here, and you've got y over here and 6 centimeters there. The question wants you to find what y is equal to. Okay, so just having a look at the question, think about how you could use the sine rule. Now think about the angles and which signs are opposite them. Okay, so you've got this length here and you've got the angle there. Fantastic. And you've got this length and you've got the angle, so that's perfect. If you didn't have that angle there and you only had this one here, then you'd either need this side length here or to be able to figure out what this other angle is. Okay, but in this case it's okay, we've got everything opposite each other. So the sine rule says that sine of 37 over y, so over its opposite length, is equal to sine 65 over its opposite 6. Okay, and then all we need to do is solve this equation to get it out. Now, can you see how why I showed you the upside down is that if I wrote this the other way around, it becomes much easier to solve. So in other words, if I wrote y over sine 37 is equal to 6 over sine 65, because that is also true. It's a bit messy, sorry about that. Sine 65, then all you do is y, just multiply both sides by sine 37, so you'll get 6 sine 37 over sine 65. Plug that into your calculator, away you go. So here we go, I'll try to remember it this time. 6 times sine 37, so fraction 6 times sine 37 over sine of something, sine of 65, big sine 65, and this time I'll do a control enter, and we get 3.98. So there we go, as easy as pie, that's equal to 3.98. What units are we in? We're in centimeters, so centimeters, that's how long that side is. And that's as simple as it takes, that's what we're doing here, trying to find that length, so nice and easy. Let me do another example. Black, here we go, let's do this one. Okay, let's go to triangle, let's say that's 8, that's 9, this is theta, and that's 38 degrees. Okay, so let's have a look at this. To be able to use the sine, you're looking at angles and their opposite lengths. Okay, so let's think about this. We've got this 8 here, and it's opposite 38. Great, so that's one of ours. Let's write it down. So that means sine 38 over 8 is equal to what? So I need another pair. Let's look at theta. We've got theta here, but there's no length over here. We don't know this length over this side. So that's actually not going to help us. What do we know? Well, we know this length here, and it's opposite this angle here. Well, what is that angle there? We can figure it out. Let's just have a look. I'll just write it out here. Remember, the angles inside a triangle add up to 180. So what that's going to be is 180 minus 38 minus theta. Okay, for those to all add up, it's going to have to be that. Okay, so that's the angle there. Let me just figure out, simplify what it is. What's 180 minus 38? That's 142 minus theta. That's what that angle is there. So I'm just going to write it 142 minus theta. That's how big that angle is. And if you add up those three things, you should get 180. Okay, so here we go. So now we've got an angle and a side length. So that's equal to sine 142 minus theta over 9. And there's our setup. All we need to do now is solve it. Okay, so let's do this. Therefore, multiply both sides by 9. So therefore we get 9 sine 38 over 8 is equal to sine 142 minus theta. Okay. How do we get rid of this sine? We need to imply an inverse sine. So therefore, 142 minus theta is equal to sine -1, so the inverse sine, 9 sine 38 over 8. And you'll see I'm sort of building up this. Instead of evaluating this and doing that, it keeps your accuracy to do it all in one step on the calculator. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, so I'll do that now. I'll evaluate this now. Okay, and just be warned, this sign doesn't necessarily cancel out this sign, so I'll just enter the whole thing into your calculator. Just be careful there, please. Okay, so sine -1, 9 sine 38. Here we go. So, trig, sine -1. Put a fraction in, and I've forgotten it already. 9 sine 38. 9 times sine 38. Sine 38. I think that was over 8 from memory. Over 8. And I'm going to do an approximate equal, so control equals, and that gives us 43.84. Okay. So equals 43.84. So that's 142 minus that is equal to that. So therefore, theta, well, I'll do it 2 steps at a time, should I? Okay. Subtract 142 from this side, so equals 43.84 minus 142. Therefore, theta equals, and we just swap those around. So if you're timesing by negative, that's going to be negative, that's going to be positive. So it'll be 142 minus 43.84, which is equal to, should I do it in my head? I don't think I can, a bit old. Minus answer, control answer, equals 98.16. 98.16. We're finding out the angle there, so that's degrees. We're still in degrees. So there we go. That's an application of the sine rule. Hope that makes sense to you, but it's very, very useful, so get comfortable with the sine rule. There you go.